हेलो एवरीवन। आज है हमारा पहला पॉडकास्ट एआई रिपल्स का और ये हमारी मेरी और मेरी वाइफ रिचा की हेल्थ जर्नी के बारे में। लेट्स स्टार्ट दिस पॉडकास्ट हाउ वी हैव यूज्ड एआई फॉर आवर हेल्थ जर्नी।
Hi, folks. So I think it's been an interesting journey. So what we will do is we'll just talk about right from starting when we were kids to now how we have used what have been the ups and downs in our journey and how now AI has helped us. So hopefully it helps you guys also to get some clues for your own journey. Yep. So Kamal, I think सबसे पहले I want to start from when you were a kid. How did what did health mean? What did good well-being or anything really means? And from where were those ideas coming? Were they mainly family? Were it friends? How did you build your initial concept of health and well-being?
वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एंड रेलेवेंट क्वेश्चन फॉर एनी हेल्थ जर्नी। मुझे याद है जब मैं बचपन में स्कूल में था, उस टाइम पे हेल्थ मेरे लिए लिमिटेड थी कि मैं पढ़ाई के अलावा और या सोने के अलावा मैं कौन-कौन सी स्पोर्ट्स में एंगेज हूँ।
Hmm.
तो मुझे मालूम है आई यूज्ड टू लव क्रिकेट, आई यूज्ड टू प्ले अ लॉट क्रिकेट और फिर अपने दोस्तों के साथ हमारे सोसाइटी में वी यूज्ड टू प्ले डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ गेम्स, राइट? तो इट वाज मेनली फोकस्ड ऑन what type of games you play and how much time you spend in games. So that was the main uh, focus areas, I would say, related to my health. I had to spend time in sports. That is what I would say. And I think I want to also say most of the time, uh, at when kids are there, right, they're focused mainly on sports. They never used to focus on what is their health is, right, what their health is. So that's what the point which I want to make.
True, true. I think I also relate to the same thing. I think when you're a kid, you're not really bothered about health or stress or anything. I think that really helps because you're very less in stress. And I think from at least from our family perspective, it was good food, eat at home, a lot of home cooked food. Play, enjoy, be active in your free time, and I think that was mainly what constituted and as really good health.
Yeah, so in that time, I think the most of your knowledge about around health or you mentioned diet, right? It used to come from your parents.
True.
So parent used to teach us, okay, please go and play some sport. Don't sit only for your studies, right? Go out, play some different type of sports. And then parent used to also force us in a discipline of your diet that you should not eat this, you should eat this, you should have 3 meals. So we actually got that kind of discipline about our overall well-being, including diet and fitness, from our mainly from parents.
True, true. So now let's just move a little forward, right? See, you have been in hostel, you studied a good amount of period in hostel. I also did my masters. How did you know? You also become a little more conscious when you go into college, right? So, how did the college life and that changed your perspective about health? Were you still, were you more aware about it, or how was it?
So the time when I elevated myself from childhood to say collegehood, right? In my teens, I remember there was no still dedicated focus on my health because at that time your body is young. You are not very much focused or you are not worried about okay what is happening to your weight. I was most of the time my weight was little on the higher side, but it was not I would say obese. I used to be a very well built individual, and so during my college, I think one thing which I would say was a blessing for me is my college was on the top of Himalayas. So it was in Podi Galwal. So if you think in that way, right, by design, you will actually study in an environment where it is very tough, normal to a ground level, right, where people stay on land. So that way, I spent my 4 years of bachelor's degree in hill region. It was in Himalaya region in Podi Garhwal, and by design, uh, it used to be tough enough.
You're already walking
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of incline and
I
all
was
that, right?
actually in my college premises was almost 3 to 4 kilometers. So even to attend one lecture, it used to take
Take like
a good amount of
good amount
effort.
of effort.
And then we used to also have sports in college. I used to play again cricket in college. We used to have volleyball, basketball. So I was part of the college team as well. So again, my main focus in college again was towards sports. But I would say one change which came is, see, normally in college, what happens is you start become little more conscious about your
How
how
you
you
look.
look, especially, right? Though there were no girls in our college,
Mm.
right? But you still start seeing your muscles in the, like
In the
how
mirror.
you look like, whether you have six packs ab or not, right? So that consciousness came, and then there is a urge to probably build your muscles. Sometimes go to gym, sometimes do some strength training. So there was a concept which started building in my mind that there is something called strength training, there is something called endurance, and most of the time these knowledge again used to come from fellow colleagues, right? And probably at that time there was an internet, but it was the access to internet was not very, I mean, it was not easily available. You have to go to your college center and surf the net, right? So I used to get some knowledge, but I've not started reading still dedicatedly. I've not bought any book during that time to read about health,
Got
right?
got. So I think very similar. I think the what happens, as you rightly said, your body is so young at that time that you
Yeah.
don't really even bother about if I think the concept of good health is you're not falling sick too often, you're not obese, you're or rather one of the misconceptions is if you're light, then you
Yeah.
are healthy. But I think it was very similar for me also, especially in during IIT days. You will walk so much that you would not really you won't do other exercises, but at least you'll be active, right, in that sense. So let's just move forward from there. I know both of us moved to Bangalore and for our jobs, and initial part of when we got married, had kids. This is also a very big change in life, right? Because you till college days you're responsible, but not really for for only part of things. But once you get into job and other things and start the family, you're responsible for more than yourself, right? And obviously the office tensions, the stress from even a commute in traffic and other things add up. So how did all these things flare out in your life for basically looking at health from that perspective?
Yeah, I think that is where I feel, जो वो पीरियड होता है जब आप जॉब ज्वाइन करते हो कॉलेज के बाद, और फिर जॉब में आप एक डिसिप्लिन फॉलो करते हो, और आप ये भी डिपेंड करता है आप जॉब कहाँ करते हो। मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम आईटी प्रोफेशनल जो है दे एंड अप इन मेट्रोज, राइट? सो आई एंडेड अप इन बैंगलोर। तो उससे क्या होता है कि आपका एक डिसिप्लिन, फोर्स डिसिप्लिन बन जाता है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल, फॉर ए टिपिकल आईटी प्रोफेशनल यू स्पेंड लॉट ऑफ टाइम इन कम्यूट, right? Almost like 2 to 3 hours you have to spend daily in commute. That creates a lot of mental stress. Then you have to work for 8 to 9 hours minimum in office for 5 days a week. So that again, you are very focusedly working on a laptop or a desktop where you're not moving yourself, right? So it by design you are forced in a template. So that creates lot of indirect problems to your health. It creates not only to your physical health, I would say it starts creating to your mental health as well. और उस particular template में I feel during your initial part of the job, right, you don't even focus on your diet. So many times क्या होता है, आप बाहर खाना खाते हो, ऑफिस में खाना खाते हो, many times when you are young you go out and take some junk food. So your all three angles of well-being, whether it is your fitness, whether it is mental health, and also diet, it doesn't go as per plan until unless you decide it to do. और मेरे साथ भी यही हुआ। आई थिंक मैं ये बहुत ओपनली मैंने ब्लॉग में भी लिखा है कि the fat cells more grow faster when you start your job journey compared to till you are in college
and
life.
and really I think it is all set to especially our sedentary lifestyle. it's we're not burning enough, and with the stress, with the cortisol levels, I think it all adds up
Yeah.
to have the body store all that fat, right? And I think yes, that's what happened to us. We start giving, I think, excuses to ourselves. Oh, right now I have a night call. Oh, I have to build my career. Oh, I can't concentrate on my gym schedule now. Oh, now the kids are young, where how can we leave them? Oh, once they are grown up, then we'll start doing all
Yeah.
that. So I think so I think that's what happened to two of us, right? We never realized when those fat cells accumulated so much that we became from being lean to really obese, right?
Yeah.
And both of us gained really a good amount of weight, right? So when did this really trigger that, you know what, now the पानी सर से ऊपर जा रहा है और
हाँ,
अब कुछ करना पड़ेगा?
तो आई थिंक मैं मतलब वही पॉइंट करता हूँ। तो सो क्या होता है जॉब में जब आप सेटल हो जाते हो, देन देयर इज अ फेज कम दैट यू हैव टू गेट सेटल्ड इन योर लाइफ एज वेल। व्हेन आई मेट यू,
हम्म,
सो ऑलमोस्ट 25 years बैक नाउ,
हम्म,
तो एक बार जब आप मैरिड में लाइफ में चले जाते हो, यू बिकम काइंड ऑफ सेटल्ड, यू योर मेंटल स्ट्रेस ऑल्सो गोज डाउन। But still, if you don't focus on your health, which we did not,
initially did
right?
not.
Initially did not.
Yeah.
So then you don't realize within a year or two, you start seeing yourself as obese. I think we both gathered a lot of weight initial one or two,
Mm.
2 to 3 years of our married life, and we really did not focus how to control it, and that's what happened. उसके बाद फिर हमारे ट्विंस हुए,
Mm.
और ट्विंस के बाद क्या होता है, लॉट ऑफ प्रेशर तो आता है कि आपको थोड़ा चेंज करना है लाइफस्टाइल को, बट स्टिल यू डोंट फोकस ऑन योर हेल्थ, राइट? तो यहाँ पे मैं एक एंगल और बोलना चाहता हूँ कि उस टाइम पे भी हमारे पास एक्सेस था इंफॉर्मेशन के लिए
Yes.
कि वी शुड लर्न अबाउट इट, एंड वी डिड नॉट डू
Mm.
बिकॉज वी वर स्टिल यंग,
Mm.
and we were thinking ki our priorities are our kids
Kids
and our
and
job.
family. True.
Though the access was much more easier because उस time तक Google
Internet
बाबा आ
was
गए
there.
थे,
Mm.
and if I wanted, I would have searched lot of information about health,
Mm.
but it never happened.
Mm. Mm.
And एक time ऐसा आया, when it happened was, I think it was in early 40s,
Mm.
जब my weight peaked. I started my weight after marriage maybe somewhere around 80s. I think it was close to 80s or late 70s when I got married. But within 3-4 years, I remember my peak weight touched around 113 kgs.
113 kgs.
And that moment, I think you remember,
Yes.
you and me discussed.
Yeah.
And the trigger came that, okay, now we have to do something.
Yes.
At least that trigger was, we have to learn about well-being. We have to gather information that there is a science and a knowledge behind
Yeah.
health.
True,
And
true.
I think you gave me a first, I think that birthday gift of my maybe
Personal
40
coach.
personal coach.
40th birthday.
And there the, I think, knowledge of gathering about health started, I would say. And I think I would say that was the changing moment for both of us.
I agree. I agree. And I think we've lived through multiple learnings and changes. We did a lot of reading based on internet and books, talking to our coach, to some of our dietitians over the period of the time. But and also the last keto journey we did together, right, in 2020. But how do you see those journey and the period where the information was coming from, I would say, piecemeal from different places, and it's up to you how you pick it up. And now when we have started using AI,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So
yeah.
how do you want to really see struck a difference between that and what and how it is packaged and available right now?
Yeah, so I think this is the main crux of this talk, right?
Yeah.
So the information need for me started when I hit 113 kgs. And first instance for me to get knowledge was from my personal coach. तो उस टाइम पे क्या होता था कि आप क्या होता है शुरू में आप फॉलो करते हो कोच को बिकॉज यू ट्रीट हिम एज इफ ही इज द एक्सपर्ट, and whatever he used to say used to follow, and we both used to follow, whether it is you have to come 3 days a week, this day you have to do this kind of exercise, this day you have to do probably endurance, this day you have to do strength, this day you have to run. So you follow a set routine, So what happens at that time? You get the knowledge, but you get limited opportunity to ask questions. Ki, if you have to do that, why? Right. So but at the same time, what happens is when you start seeing positive changes, right? For example, you're feeling better, you are 1 kg weight, it has gone down, then you start appreciating the knowledge. So that's what happened during that time because I was seeing a visible change. I started reading about it. I started Googling about it. I actually read a couple of books also, online books also, especially around how fitness can be motivated or can be influenced through these kind of activities, whether it is strength training or whether it is endurance training, right? So you start building that knowledge. But I agree at that particular time when there was no AI, maybe 2 years back, that time your knowledge was more in pockets. Something you're learning from internet, something you're learning from one of your friend who is very health freak, something many things you learn from your coach. But then again, coach time was very limited, and you rightly said we had both type of coach, right? We had a fitness coach, and then in 2020 we did a dietitian coach also, recommendations, right? So at that time I think we learned a lot about what is low carb diet. And you used to follow as a discipline because coach बोल रहा है तो करना पड़ेगा. So but we never used to get
The
all
science behind it.
why, what exactly is the reason behind it. So in pockets we used to ask that question, but limited interface was there. Now what has happened after 2 years, when the chat GPT came, I mean, I started just asking same question from that interface of chat GPT. And I found that, okay, maybe 90% of the time I'm getting right and logical answers. The same question I would used to do in Google, but that time you never used to get a very precise answer, right? You used to get only lots of information around your question. So, but the turnaround which came is 2 years back is you can actually ask whatever health issues you are dealing with at any point of time. और पहले क्या होता था कि आपको वेट करना पड़ता था, आपको सर्च करना पड़ता था, आपको डिग करना पड़ता था. अभी आई थिंक बिकॉज ऑफ एआई from last 2 years, one thing which has started is you have the probably close to 99% correct answer in just one prompt away. I would say that has changed the game from last 2 years.
That is true. I think, and I think it's about also what is the kind of information that is coming, right? For example, when we actually, I'll just give you an example. When we started our low carb this time in January, initial few days there's always that whenever you change a diet, you have a change in your metabolism and your you'll have some or the other either headache or some things, right? My initial assumption was, I'm having a headache because I'm now hungry. But in when I talked and gave the my symptoms and what I have taken from morning, it said it's not that you're hungry, it's just that because your sodium levels have gone down, you actually need water, put 1 spoon of salt in it and just drink it, sip it. And it actually went away within like 15 minutes. My headache was gone. So it is also one is contextual knowledge. Second is at that moment, right? You, as you rightly said, it's like a 24/7 a personal coach that is available with you all the time, right? And but I think one of the very important aspect is, and you also talked about it, is it's one prompt away, but what do you put in the prompt, the better context you give, the better it becomes. And over a period of time, it remembers your health reports, your journey you have done, if you've taken any supplements, or if you have even fallen sick, you've taken breaks in between, and gives you a whole comprehensive look as you keep talking to it over time, right? So what is your experience
Yeah,
on that
so
aspect?
see, what I would say, AI also evolved in last 2 years. And it is evolving in the direction where it is helping more in your health journey. So I'll give you some examples. When AI started 2 years back, it was only a question answer interface. It never used to store your context, right? Because AI was still evolving. Now, as on today, I mean, you will also agree that you can actually simulate a AI coach who will remember. So what we have done from last 6 months when we started this Keto 2.0, we both have created a kind of agent, you can say health agent in ChatGPT, where it basically it's learning from last 6 months every day what we are doing related to our well-being. So what we are doing is we are feeding in every day in this keto diet what we have eaten on morning, in afternoon, in the evening, right? And how we are feeling after every diet, and then at for your fitness, what you are doing today, what have you done strength training, how much sleep you had, whether it was a good sleep or not. So what is happening these days, uh, uh, you are giving your health rated context every single day as it is. Right? You don't have to bother that, okay, you have to probably process the information, you have to make the information which is probably more contextual. What you can do is you keep feeding the information, it's keep learning. That agent, that coach will keep learning, and it will keep on guiding you every single day. So for example, today I had some sort of a meal in the morning, right? And what I did is I just click picture of the meal, and then I ran 10 kilometers today, and how I felt about my run, how I felt yesterday about my sleep, and how I felt during the run. Everything what I felt as it is, I have just entered. So what happened? It stored that information for my next set of health journey. At the same time, it also guided me how I felt and I what I should do better next time, and why I felt like that. For example, um, yesterday I was not feeling well. My sleep was kind of not smooth. Right, only for 5 hours I got the sleep, and rest 2 hours it was break in between. So it guided me also. Right, next day what you should do. So AI, the way it is evolving, it is also becoming very close to your personal coach, which is accessible 24 bar 7. That's what I would say the change which has come.
And I think one is 24 bar 7. Second is Google was also available 24 bar 7. You could search it, but it was never giving you feedback. It was giving you a raw dump of data. Now you pick and choose depending on what your mental state is, what you want to read or interpret out of it. I think here what I feel is when I give some commands to or prompts to chat gpt, it feels like someone is listening and looking at the holistic picture and really giving the data. But at times, have you felt that you've given the data, or maybe the direction that you want it to take, it's not taking that and it's going in a completely different direction and talking about something health only? But how do you then stop him? And that's a level of ai that now we've started calling him also. So how do you have you encountered that kind of hallucination of chat?
Yeah, very much. I think though hallucination as a feature, it is evolving, improving.
True.
But I face this many times still today. So see, what is very important to know is AI is still in the digital ecosystem. It is yet to come in the physical ecosystem. I hope Elon Musk will launch its robot very soon. It will probably come in physical ecosystem also. So right now it is in digital ecosystem. So it is not sensing your life parameters of your body, right? It is only answering based on whatever you are feeding it to in by typing it, by maybe by prompting through your voice, right? So it is very important, and I have seen many times uh, it goes in a different direction. But once you autocorrect it, right, you can always say, no, I think you are probably going in the wrong direction. I want you to critically look in this particular area. So it comes back. So you can route the AI in the direction which reality is, but you have to be honest. You should not probably accept whatever it says, right? You should also logically judge whether it is going the right direction. But I would also point out, you all will agree during Google days, right? Whenever you used to search about any illness or any issue which you are dealing with your health, I think the interface was always worst case scenario. And you used to get scared. I mean, you got something very, very bad, and you have to visit office immediately, or visit, sorry, a hospital to get that checked, right? But I think, especially Chat GPT, the way they have designed this health use case, it is very optimistic. I think it the interface is very supportive, very optimistic, and it gives all possibility in a positive way. It gives you a very positive outlook.
It's very
Right.
affirmative.
Very
Even if
affirmative.
it wants to tell you that go to hospital, it will tell you that these are good things in your report, but these are really red items. And whether you should go immediately or whether you should, delay it by a week or anything, I think that's true actually. Yes. So if you have to really summarize your experience, and I know you've also made an app with your keto to capture your keto journey. So how would you summarize it, saying that yes, I was doing it for the past in past 15 years, for 13 years in one way, but how did AI help? If you have to just say it in a few words.
So I would say you have 24 bar 7 health coach with you. You can ask thousands of questions. You don't have to feel bad about it. You can be very open. Sometimes, probably there are some health issues you feel very awkward discussing with your coach, right? So with AI coach, you are very, very open. You can ask anything, whatever you are feeling. I think that is a big change. Accessibility is a big change, and the type of context it stores, right? The type of everyday data it stores. Your personal coach will not store that context, right? But the type of context it stores, the type of precise answer it can give you for your use case, that is a game changer. See, I'm not saying that personal coach is not required. It is, human touch is always required. As I said, AI is still in digital space. It is not in physical space. So many times I still need personal coaching. I used to call my dietitian also. I normally call my coaches also if I'm not able to, and I request them to come and do a session with me, because sometimes you need that personal touch, right? But I would still think that okay, AI has enabled your knowledge access very, very fast. You have, I mean, knowledge just prompt away. You don't have to search. You have to only articulate precise prompt what exactly you need. I think that is the art you need to learn. And second thing I've learned is if you keep on feeding your information, it starts learning effectively. It starts becoming much more efficient coach than probably in the beginning.
True, true.
That is what my summary will be. What about yours, Richa?
So mine would be, I think it's not just one coach that is available to you. So at times you need a diet coaching, at times you need an exercise coaching, at times you just need someone to talk to for your mental well-being, right? And put your thoughts together. I think it's one place, a marketplace where you get all these features and in out of one app, right? So I think that is how I would say it, that it's all kind of knowledge available, and that person will actually even comprehend and do the abstraction over all the parameters that are available. So it's again, but always remember, like anything digital, if you put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out,
That is
right? So
true.
if you're not honest with your coach in real life, and you're not honest with a digital coach, the results you will get won't be right, because the suggestions or the advice you will get might not be right. So be as open as you can, be as elaborate, and if you're feeling some things, uh, do that as elaborate, and I think at the end of the day, the the doing is in your hand. So the coach can tell you anything, but the actual exercise, the actual control of your food has to be done by you. So I think hopefully this helps you guys also in your journey. It has been a very special and very uh, awakening also journey for both of us in the last again 5 months. We have gained a lot. We have gained a lot in health and lost a lot in our weight. So we're happy with that aspect. So
Yeah. So to end this conversation, I would say what in the future? Coach, a robot who is available, who will coach you, who will check your health conditions, who will work with you, who will do a work out with you, who probably can run with you, right? So I think let's wait for that moment. I'm very excited. I'm very hopeful, and wish you all a very good, healthy life. Please do use AI for
Yeah,
your health.
that is true.
Thank you.
Thank you.